The Pope died shortly after touching JD Vance's demonic hand. He might be the Antichrist. It's true. He is. He is. He is. He is the Antichrist. He is literally from the Antichrist administration. Pope Francis, a humble reformer who sought to make the Catholic Church more inclusive and clashed with world leaders over the rights of immigrants, who was a profound advocate for the livelihood and the lives of all of those who were slain unjustifiably in the genocide in Gaza, has unfortunately passed away at the age of 88. Now, I am not a Catholic, not a particularly religious person at all, but he was a very woke pope, a socialist, perhaps one of the most redeeming individuals for the nation state of Argentina, an irredeemable country with some notable exceptions. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit, but I just wanted to get started on that by saying we like the woke pope here. We are a fan of the woke pope here, or at least I am, and I mourn his passing. It's one of the few instances where I've actually felt kind of bad about like a super old man dying. In any case, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about his background and all of that. The woke pope passes after meeting JD Vance, sparking demonic rumors. Do not perpetuate the rumors of... We need to perpetuate the rumors of JD Vance being demonic. Perpetuate the rumors? You mean the truth, chatter? What rumors? JD Vance visited the Pope. The Pope immediately died after JD Vance visited him. I'm sorry. That's demonic. That's not a rumor at that point, okay? That's just what happened, what took place. Yeah. Jorkin the Peanuts Vance, dude. Just kill the Pope Vance. Community notes agree with you. I just learned of the passing of Pope Francis. My heart goes out to the millions of Christians all over the world who loved him. I was happy to see him yesterday, but though he was obviously very ill, but I'll always remember him for the below homily he gave in the very early days of COVID. It was really quite beautiful. May God rest his soul. The Pope died shortly after touching JD Vance's demonic hand. He might be the Antichrist. It's true. He is. He is. He is. He is the Antichrist. He is literally from the Antichrist administration. He was the envoy, a servant of the devil. He was a servant of the devil. Dude, there is nothing funnier to me than how much right-wing administrations in general, but specifically the Trump administration, plays the role of like biblical Satan so perfectly, okay? 4 horsemen of the apocalypse type on a regular basis. Measles cases are popping off. There's mass disease, death and destruction everywhere. You have your second in command, the shadow president, who is literally a lizard person, can't even behave normally, Elon Musk. Not only is he a lizard person, but he's trying to put microchips in people's brains. They're doing black bagging operations for the state of Israel for the crime of saying mean things about the apartheid state, doing a genocide. Okay? Mass disease everywhere. Very clearly, these guys are trying to nuke everything. These are the end of times, and virtually all of the people that are supposed to believe in angels and Jesus Christ coming back to earth or whatever unironically love this guy. How is this possible? If you are hallucinating on a daily basis that the end times are near, well, these guys are bringing it. They're bringing it to you. And you still are just like, hell yeah, nah, you don't understand. It's actually the lipdars that are bringing the end of times, not my president. It's like, what do you want? What more can you see from this administration that will cause you to go, you know what? Maybe these guys are not the good guys here. It doesn't make any sense. Everything that these guys complained about, 1984, free speech is falling apart, they're doing. Your guys are doing it, and you don't see it. What are we doing here? It blows my mind. Dude, the guy, the servant of Satan, went and shook the hand of the holiest holy man of Catholicism and killed him. And you're still going, I don't care. There are massive tornadoes and earthquakes ripping up the land on a daily basis. The end times are near. It makes me so mad because I don't believe in any of that, okay? I don't believe in any of that, but you do. You believe it. So why don't you see the things that you believe? It's unfolding in front of your eyes. It makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. These guys are fake. They're phony rapture enjoyers. The real rapture is happening, and these don't see it. Oh, Luca Big Pants. My theory so far, evil gas, invisible laser beam. No, my favorite is that this actually will cause anti-Semitic infighting. Okay, are you ready for this? Here's why it's going to cause anti-Semitic infighting. For the real anti-Semitism enjoyers, the real heads know that one of the oldest anti-Semitic conspiracies is that the Pope is secretly controlled by the Jews. Okay, they think that, you know, the entire Catholic Church, the entirety of the Vatican is controlled by Jews, right? So this is going to cause a separation between the different anti-Semites, because some of them are going to say, well, the Pope is controlled by the Jews, and that's why JD Vance assassinated him, because, you know, I don't know, he's based. He's my based Omega Groiper-pilled secret neo-Nazi who is hiding their secret base levels or whatever. But then the other people are also going to be mad, because they're going to say JD Vance actually killed him because the Pope has been too critical of Israel. JD Vance used the new secret Israeli poison to kill the Pope. Now, of course, the reality is the Pope was 88 years old, okay? Just let's make no mistake here. This is not like he died so young type situation. Like, oh, how could this have happened? Like, he was very sick and he was very much 88 years old. I'm pretty sure that part of the reason why they allowed this woke Pope to be Pope to begin with was because he was already living on borrowed time, when they were like, oh yeah, we'll just slot this guy in. Maybe we'll tweak the Catholic churches. Maybe we'll tweak the Catholic churches like PR a little bit. Okay, because we've been getting kind of a bad rap with all the pedophilia and also all the Nazi stuff. You know what I mean? So then he just survived. He just stayed alive for a lot longer than the expectation was. And in the process, he actually rebuilt the covenant too. I'm going to get into this because, like, this has been a quiet fascination of mine, okay? Given the Pope's background, I've talked about this before. I have quietly been fascinated with all of the inner machinations of the Catholic Church, especially when I found out that they just have pieces of bones of saints that they just ship off to every church around the planet. I think that's the most metal thing you can do. Okay. When I found that out, I was like, this is kind of cool. I'm not going to lie. Like, it's freaky, but it's also kind of sick. Anyway, but this Pope is woke. Okay. He is significantly more woke than any other Pope that has ever existed. And, you know, that was unexpected. Certainly. That was definitely unexpected. Okay. He is a Pope that followed, ironically enough, the socialist tradition, which is hilarious to think, because, you know, that's kind of what Christianity is supposed to fucking be about, you know? Like, think about it. What is heaven but a utopian communist, classless, moneyless, borderless, stateless society? That's what heaven is. That's the prize. Jesus himself, you know, kind of a brown socialist when you think about it. Anyway, so yeah, first non-European Pope in 1,300 years, first Latin American Pope, and he was definitely, I think, the best Pope. I don't know, like, all the, you know, I don't know the 265 others, but in terms of like the latest popes, I would say that this guy was so far above, so much better. Okay, first of all, he wasn't a Nazi, so that's like immediately you're like, you have elevated above many of the previous popes. Like, the fact that the only like conservative perspectives that he had was that, you know, no women still, and also no abortion, is crazy. He was pro-trans, dude. He was pro-trans. Like, that is psychotic. You can't have a pope. You can't have the leader of Catholicism be more woke than a beloved child's book author, J.K. Rowling. Do you understand? He wasn't pro-trans. Dog, he invited trans people to the Vatican, dude. What are you talking about? That is the most pro-trans you will get as the Pope. Like, we're talking about the Pope. When we talk about the Pope being progressive, it's not going to look like the sweaty anarchists in your commune. Yes, the Pope wasn't abiding by Z-zir pronouns. I know. He was 88 years old. Please, adjust your expectations.